Sherry, this is Andre. I need y'all's help.
There is no execution date for him. They will reset an execution date if we are not successful in the Supreme Court.
Already had a knife pulled and said no.
Buckle up, because what I'm about to share will leave you breathless. Andre Lee Thomas tragically took the lives of his wife, Laura Boren, along with their 4-year-old son and her 1-year-old daughter. Andre was born in Muskogee County, Oklahoma on March 17, 1983. His parents, Rochelle and Danny Thomas, raised him along with his 5 brothers. They lived in Sherman, Texas, around 60 miles from Dallas. Andre's mom took care of the kids mostly by herself. She faced challenges with alcohol, struggled with depression, and had experienced in the past. When Andre was about 10 years old, he began to behave strangely. He confided in his friends, claiming to hear arguments between angels and demons in his mind. He even believed he was a character from a video game called Mortal Kombat. Following this, Andre started drinking alcohol and smoking weed. His behavior led to trouble, and at the age of 12, he was placed on probation. By the age of 13, he had already experienced 2 instances of attempting suicide. At around 15 years old, he faced a string of arrests. Following a brief period in juvenile detention where he struggled with suicidal thoughts, he was placed under suicide watch. However, upon his release, he did not receive continuous mental health support. Andre forcefully entered Boren's 3rd-floor apartment, breaking down the door. She was home, caring for her 2 children. Tragically, Andre fatally attacked and killed her.
Already had a knife pulled and said no. And I grabbed her and I said, you. That's all I said was you. And I stabbed her in the heart.
He then proceeded to the bedroom shared by their 4-year-old son and Boren's 13-month-old daughter, where he also ended their lives with his actions. Following the devastating events, Andre inflicted 3 stab wounds upon himself in the chest, anticipating his death. However, upon realizing he was still not dead, he made his way back to his residence. Upon returning home, Andre left a voicemail for his wife's parents before he was taken into custody that he needed help.
Sherry, this is Andre. I need y'all's help.
Psychologists talked to Andre and found out he had schizophrenia, a mental illness. They said he couldn't go to trial because of this. So, he was sent to North Texas State Hospital in mid-June 2004. After 47 days there, a doctor named Joseph Black wrote to the court. He shared that Andre wasn't crazy anymore because drugs caused his mental illness. Defense attorney Haggard also warned that Andre might pretend to be sick to get out of trouble by hurting himself or acting strangely. The situation has sparked ethical debates regarding the execution of Andre with mental illness. He resided in a Texas prison facility designated for inmates with psychiatric issues. What do you guys think about Andre? Was he pretending to be in pain, or was he facing real pain? Next, we turn our focus to the complex and emotionally charged case of Doyle Ham, who was compelled to remain in jail until his death from cancer-related issues in 2021. Doyle Ham was sentenced to life in prison without any parole. Ham was born on February 14, 1957, and grew up in northwest Alabama with 11 siblings. His family faced significant challenges. His father and 6 older brothers had previous encounters with the law. Ham's sister recalled their home life as consistently difficult, with their father even encouraging them to engage in theft. Academic success eluded Ham. By 5th grade, his reading level was comparable to that of a 1st grader. Eventually, he dropped out of school and turned to substance abuse. At the age of 20, Ham found himself embroiled in a drunken altercation in a bar parking lot, resulting in his arrest for robbery. He admitted to the offense and received a 5-year prison sentence. Throughout his life, Ham faced multiple arrests for various offenses, including burglary, assault, and theft of valuable items. On January 24, 1987, Ham robbed a motel in Alabama called the Anderson Motel and murdered Patrick Cunningham, who worked there at night. Cunningham got shot with a gun Ham had stolen earlier. The police caught Ham the next day in Cullman, Alabama, and said he was guilty of serious murder. 2 people said they witnessed Ham do it, and the story doesn't end here. During the execution attempt, they tried for 2.5 hours to find a vein in his legs and ankles, poking him with needles. They even flipped him over and slapped his legs to try and find a vein. Ham was stabbed multiple times. They even accidentally punctured a significant artery in his leg. There was a lot of blood around him during the execution, so much that they had to change the pad. The executioner thought that because there was so much blood, the person executing Ham might have accidentally cut a significant artery in his leg. After they stopped the execution, Ham fell down when they took him off the bed with wheels. When his lawyers came to see him the next day, he was walking with difficulty and feeling achy. His lawyer said he looked very different from his usual self. Ham became only the 4th person in the United States since 1946 to leave the room where they do executions and still be alive. Are you enjoying the video? If so, hit the subscribe button to continue receiving updates in the future. An American prisoner currently resides in a place known as Death Row. Interested in discovering more? Let's delve deeper. Richard Eugene Glossip was convicted of orchestrating the murder of Barry Van Treese. Van Treese was fatally beaten with a baseball bat by Justin Sneed at the Best Budget Inn in Oklahoma City. Sneed, who was employed as the maintenance man there, confessed to the murder and implicated Glossip, the manager, alleging that Glossip instructed him to carry it out. Glossip has always said he didn't do it and wouldn't accept any deals. A jury in Oklahoma found him guilty and gave him the death penalty. But in 2001, the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals said the case against Glossip wasn't strong enough and his lawyers didn't do a good job, so they overturned his conviction. Glossip said the prosecutors scared his defense lawyer into quitting. Later, the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals said the death penalty was okay, with most judges agreeing. Glossip couldn't convince the clemency board to read letters from Sneed's family, who thought Sneed was lying. The Oklahoma Attorney General said they didn't have enough of the drugs needed for executions, so they delayed Glossip's execution and 2 others. After some time, the U.S. Supreme Court stopped executions in Oklahoma until they figured out which drugs to use. But later that year, they said it was okay to use a mix of drugs that included midazolam, so they started executing people again. Glossip's execution was delayed again because the Department of Corrections got the wrong drug. Then, Glossip's execution was scheduled, but Governor Kevin Stitt decided to delay it by 60 days before delaying it again. Later, Drummond suggested delaying the execution until 2024.
There is no execution date for him. They will reset an execution date if we are not successful in the Supreme Court.
For an independent review by a good lawyer. After the review, Drummond's office asked to cancel Glossip's murder conviction because they had enough doubts about his guilt to stop the execution and cancel the conviction. And that wraps up today's video. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this.